So now that we have our user interface all ready for us to work with, we are now ready to get into the code. I know you're very excited because the code is always fun. All right, so, okay, let's get to it. All right, so we're going to go ahead now and go to the top right here where those two circles are the assistant editor. So click on that. And what's going to happen is you already know it's going to split our screen into two. And so we're going to go ahead and close this pane here to the left and to the right as well. So that way we have all of this real estate, all of this space for us to work. The first thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to start with the button here. We're going to start connecting our button with our code. That way we can start then putting things together. So click on your submit name button and hit Control key and drag and drop right about underneath the view controller class and let go. And right away you will see this pop up here, which will allow you to create what kind of connection here. Submit name is a button, which means we need the action connection. It's because a button needs an action. You click on a button, you expect something to happen. And so we're going to name it submit button. Let me write it correctly. 2 T's there, button. Okay. And you notice something here, which we will talk more about this, but you notice the name convention I'm using here. There's 2 words, as you can see, there's submit and there's button. And you notice the first letter of the first word is lowercase. Any other word after that, it's going to be uppercase. And that's just a convention used in many languages. If this is your first time programming, you will see this very commonly. This convention makes it very much readable as opposed to if we had something like this, right? Now that we have all of that, let's go ahead and say connect. And again, you notice right away to the right here in our code, now we have our submit button function, which will be called the moment the user taps on the submit button here. And the other thing we need to go ahead and connect here is this label. So click on this label, do the same control and go up there. Make sure it's actually over there on top and let go. This is an outlet. We're going to call this, let's call result label. Say connect. We made a variable of type label, which is this here. That we can now use in this program, in this code, in our code here to reference whatever we want to insert in our label here. Let's do the same with our text field here. So let's go ahead and click on it and say control and do the same right underneath the view controller class and let go. It's an outlet, of course. We're going to go ahead and say pet name text field. Okay, say connect. Great, so we did the same thing now. We have this pet name text field here, which is of type text field, which is this text field here. Now we have a way of using this text field here in our code, just as we did with our result label. Okay, so we have variables that connect to those elements, user interface elements. So now that we have that set, let's go and review what we're trying to accomplish here. What we're trying to accomplish here is very simple. Users are going to come in and enter a pet name, their pet name, and then they're going to click submit name, and then this label at the bottom here will show the name they've entered here, which means we have to figure out a way of retrieving our text field value here that they have entered and then populate right here in our label. So how do we do that? Well, we already have our pet name text field here, right? Our variable, which we can use inside of our submit button, because all of this has to happen when the user click the submit button. Inside here, that's where we are going to put our logic. All right, so what we're going to do here, we're going to go ahead and take the result label, because this is the label here which is going to have whatever users entered here. So we're going to say then result label. And here it is, Xcode again working for us. It's giving us a hint. This is exactly what we want. So say enter, and then we say dot text, because that's the attribute we are trying to change. And we're going to say it's equal to. Now we're going to go ahead and fetch whatever users have entered in our text field, which coincidentally we can get it from our variable here. Okay, because that's referencing our text field here in our view controller here. Okay, so simply we can go ahead and say pet name. Again, there it is, pet name text field dot text, and enter. All right, so what are we doing here? We're saying result label that text is going to be equal. So we're going to go and take whatever users have entered in our text field here. All right, so that's all. So let's see if this works. Make sure you save it. So command save, or you can go file, save. Okay, and then let's run this and see how it's going to work. Okay, build succeeded. And there is our app here. All right, let's see. All right, there it is, folks. Let's go ahead and click on our text field there. There it is. Let's enter something. Let's say Tommy. Okay, let's say submit, and there it is, Tommy. Great, so that means this is actually working. All right, so again, one more time. All right, so we have our pet name text field, which is referring to our text field here, and we have our result label here, which refers to our label here. And then we're saying here on submit button, so when users click the submit button, we want to take that result label, this label here, access its text attribute, and then we're going to add whatever users have entered in our text field. That's all. Very, very simple, isn't it? That's great. Go back to our user interface. So let's close this out here. So our user interface, let's make sure our right pane is open there. Instead of just saying label here, let's go ahead and get rid of the label text there. So that way it's just empty. Because we want to make sure that when users enter this application for the first time, this is just empty, right? Okay, so now it's just empty. You can't even see it. Okay, so let's run this one more time. Okay, let's give it a try. Bob. Okay, submit. And there it is, Bob. And you noticed earlier there was nothing here. It was just white. Okay, which is exactly what we wanted. Perfect. That's wonderful. Well, congratulations. So you've made your first application, your first complete, full-fledged app where you use all of the things that you've learned from buttons, text fields, image views, and label. Beyond that, you'll also learn how to use Xcode, which is our IDE, our tool that we're using to build applications for iOS 9. So congratulations, this is a big deal. So the one thing I would like to suggest you do, in fact, as an exercise, go ahead and create another app just like what we did here. And so you can add a different image, and you can create a different sort of logic. You can find any other idea you have, but use the same things we've done with this application here, and make your own application. You know, you can add different fonts. You can just go nuts with it. Okay, so that's how you're gonna aid your learning. So don't be afraid of trying things yourself. All right. Well, congratulations, and I'll see you in the next videos.